Alpha Metallurgical Resources. Is this a stock you should buy right now? That's what we're going to try to answer here in this analysis video. I like to simplify things, and I'm going to discuss 6 metrics in this analysis: earnings growth, PE ratio, dividends, return on equity, free cash flow, and intrinsic value. They're then put on a 0 to 99 grade scale so it's easier to visualize the different numbers I'm going to throw at you in this video. The first 5 metrics mostly deal with how good of a business we have. No point investing if it's an undervalued piece of crap. That's why I save intrinsic value near the end. Earnings growth is by far the most important metric. A company that doesn't grow doesn't survive for long. Alpha Metallurgical has no growth, in fact negative at negative 22.11% per year going forward. That's not a good sign when a company is shrinking. For PE ratio, most people look at it as a valuation metric. I don't base my intrinsic value on the PE ratio. The PE ratio to me is a measurement of hype. Too high and there's just too many eager eyes on the stock. Too low and we might have a hidden gem. Alpha Metallurgical has a very low PE ratio at 3.27. There's just about no hype around the stock, and that means we may have just struck gold. Dividends should be an obvious metric and something a lot of people ignore. I'm going to put it out there. If you buy a stock that doesn't pay you anything, you're speculating. You're not investing. Alpha Metallurgical doesn't pay out a dividend. Not surprising when you have a shrinking earnings and aren't profitable. For return on equity, it tells me a lot about the management. It shows me how efficiently my investment dollars will be treated if I were to buy the stock. Alpha Metallurgical has great management with an ROE of 62.6%. Your investment dollars are building something efficient in the company. Free cash flow is my way to quickly evaluate how dominant of a company we're dealing with. The more cash available, the better opportunities to buy up other companies, the better to research, and more money for marketing. Alpha Metallurgical has bad cash flow to the tune of $1.31 billion. Although they're efficient, they're not going anywhere anytime soon. Okay, as I said, these 5 metrics we just went over tell me what kind of business we're dealing with. With a business grade of 35, we're dealing with a disappointing business. Growth sucks, it pays no dividend, but at least it's efficient if that counts for anything more than what it is. But before we get our intrinsic value, consider joining my Patreon and get access to every grade from every company I've analyzed. It's updated all the time. Go to patreon.com/GrowthShares or click on the link in the description. As I said, Alpha Metallurgical is a disappointing business, but let's see what the price tells us in terms of attractiveness. Nonetheless, Alpha Metallurgical Resources is worth $133 per share. Right now we're looking at an expensive stock. Not surprising since the company isn't growing. And now that we've got all the numbers down, we put it all together and get our final grade. Alpha Metallurgical Resources has a final grade of 32, and that makes it a disappointing long-term investment. For me, growth is important, and there isn't any here. No dividends and just nothing else it can provide me as an investor. This is not a buy for me. But hey, after this video comes out, anything can happen in the next few days, weeks, months, even years. But long-term is always longer than you expect. Keep this in mind. It took Warren Buffett 45 years to become a billionaire. Invest wisely, and as always, take care of your money.